Hello, I'm Brad Carter, the incoming head at Island Pacific School, and welcome to my kitchen in my home in Tokyo. It was great to meet the families who came out to the Experience IPS event on April 24th, I think it was. I also want to say my hello to those of you who couldn't make it out on the day. So, let me tell you why I'm enrolling, so to speak, at Island Pacific School. Well, not to put too fine a point on it, I think it's the best middle school in the world, probably, and maybe even one of the best schools in the world, primary, middle, high school, or otherwise. That's not a sales pitch. I get to say that. I mean, I left the classroom some years ago to work with Apple Education and then Notosh, a global education consultancy, because I had a burning need to understand more about education and schooling and teaching and learning. I needed to get up high, really high, in order to see more than I could working in a single school or even a district or even a national school system. I mean, how do people in Tangier or Nanking or Dusseldorf teach and learn? I wanted to know. And since that move, I've been fortunate enough to work on or in schools all over the world. More than 50 countries, I think, east and west, rich and poor. And I've spent my whole career trying to understand how we make this thing we call education the best it can be for our kids. I don't know I have an answer, but I can say I've learned this in my travels. It's a mistake to think education is all about schooling. Those are related, but different ideas. Education is about how we as a community help raise our children to be good people with all that that means. Schooling is just one of the solutions we came up with. And IPS, I think, reasonably objectively, is a particularly good version of the solution called schooling. Now, what makes it so? I feel confident there are just two things that make a great school. People often think it's programming, IB or inquiry-based learning, for example. Or they think it's graduation rates and that sort of thing. Those are important, to be sure, but all the schools I've worked with have those things. They're almost a given. What distinguishes the great from the merely good is, one, a deep and strong connection to the communities they serve. And that plays out mainly in the way the entire staff, not just the teachers, engage with the students, their families, and everyone else in the village, the town, or the borough or city. And two, leadership that understands that and who work towards protecting and strengthening that connection through a strong and lived sense of values, such as wisdom, courage, and integrity and relationships, like at IPS. That's it. Great schools understand they are part of and serve something bigger. Now, I've done development work with one of the richest schools in the world, where royalty attend. And at the other end, work for a tiny hamlet in Scotland, just making do. And given a choice, I would send my kids, maybe I should say my grandkid now, to the school in Scotland because the people there know how and why they serve community. And by the way, I did send my children to IPS for the same reason. A sense of belonging, a sense of community is especially important for kids in middle school. As we say at IPS, the middle years are when you can set up a kid for life. Those years, from roughly the ages 11 to 14, are a time of profound change and development in a kid's life, second only to their development in the first 2 years or so of their lives. It's a period characterized by rapid growth in all key areas, cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development, each playing a distinct role in shaping a young person's journey through adolescence and ultimately into adulthood. Yes, middle school years, or kids are learning math and languages and history and philosophy and so on. But they're also learning to individuate. They're beginning to see themselves more and more as their own persons, and less as mummy's and daddy's child. And they need their community close around them. First, as a psychological security, and second, so that they can come to know in a safe way the world they're entering on their own terms for the very first time. This middle year schooling is all IPS does. and all it has done for coming on to 3 decades now. So I feel more like I was on a waiting list and I got a call saying a seat opened up at the best school in the world, probably. Who wouldn't sign up? So I'm tremendously excited to be coming to IPS, and I hope I'll get to see more of you after I arrive in the summer. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.